Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to remove glued down wood flooring on concrete. You can use a circular saw set to a little bit less than the thickness of your wood flooring to cut like a 12 by 12 inch square to start chiseling out the wood in that area. Once you have one open area, it's easy to start removing the boards all around that area. I was able to remove most of the engineered wood flooring in this room using a pry bar and a hammer. So I usually use the hammer to get the pry bar underneath the end of one of those boards, and then I worked that pry bar all the way down a board and tried to keep it together. Keeping each board together makes it much easier in the long run, so you don't have those little slivers and lots of little pieces that you have to remove later with a chisel or something else. If I could tell that the wood flooring was starting to crack or rip apart in a spot, I would stop working on that spot and move to a different part of that same board, hoping to actually get it all up in one piece. Again, that just makes life easier if you can get it all up in one piece rather than having to chisel away little slivers of half pieces and bottom layers of the wood flooring left behind. This spot on my floor was actually really holding on to that adhesive pretty well. I think the leveler that the flooring guys used to level out my concrete just let that adhesive stick to it a lot better, and I ended up having to chisel off a lot of little layers of the engineered flooring that was left behind. I'll show you the great chisel I used for that in just a minute. This whole section here was just a bunch of me abandoning certain spots that I could tell were splitting and then trying to go further along the board and get a good grab on a board so that I could get most of it off at least. By this point in the process, my back was feeling pretty sore, so I was even doing some of this on my knees. Luckily, the boards were coming up a lot easier here. You can see how I work that pry bar and the hammer along the board to keep it all in one piece and popping that adhesive up as I go. It took me about 2.5 hours to remove all of the glued down flooring in this room, so just keep that in mind. If you are doing multiple rooms, you might want to rent some sort of equipment from Home Depot or a local supplier to get the job done faster and easier. So here's that chisel that I mentioned. The end of it is pretty sharp, so it can scrape up light layers of any of the adhesive that is left behind. And it has a great guard on the end of it. So if you are using your hammer with this chisel, it protects your knuckles from getting hammered, which I know I've done multiple times when I'm using other chisels that don't have this guard. So definitely get this. This chisel is what I use to remove those layers of flooring that were left behind when the flooring ripped. So again, I love this tool for smaller jobs, but you can rent power tools from places like Home Depot or your rental supply stores nearby if you have a bigger job that you want to do and you want to save your back. Speaking of power tools, I tried using my oscillating tool with a scraper attachment to remove the adhesive, but I have way too much adhesive on this floor. I spent about an hour with this tool hoping it would get the job done, but then I finally decided that I had to move to a pour-on adhesive remover. So again, it all depends on how much adhesive you have left on your concrete floor. So for a smaller job, the oscillating tool might be great. For a larger job, the pour-on flooring adhesive is probably the preferable method. And again, for an even larger job, so if you're doing multiple rooms, you might want to rent power tools. It just depends on how much that power tool costs and if it's easy or not for you to get it to your home. So that's it for how to remove glued down wood flooring or engineered flooring in your home. I hope that gave you some great tips for getting it done in your own house, and good luck with your project, guys.